Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum. MashaAllah, we're more than a third through Ramadan, the blessed month, the best month of the year, the month of the Quran. I pray, inshallah, that all of you have had a productive Ramadan, and advise myself and yourselves to be persistent and be patient and persevere and make the most of the remainder of this month. The virtues of this month are many, and there's many ahadith about it. Subhanallah, we don't know if we will be alive for the next Ramadan, so make the most of it. This is a reminder to myself and all of you. I get frequently asked questions about people fasting with mental illness, and whether they have any exemptions or exceptions. So we know from the fiqh of fasting, Allah mentions in the Quran that those who are sick are exempt from fasting. They need to make it up, or if they can't, then they need to do the qada of fasting, feeding people, etc. Now, with respect to mental illness, it's not as quite straightforward. So people, for example, who suffer from depression and anxiety, and they may struggle to motivate themselves and have lack of energy, they still have to fast. The exception with specifically regards to mood disorders is if they develop severe symptoms resulting in kind of completely shutting down, and also sometimes people with severe depression can become psychotic. So people who have mild to moderate anxiety and depression, personality disorders, those conditions, they still are required to fast. The exceptions or the exclusion from fasting occurs in those patients who lose sense of reality, and that's most commonly in mental health patients who suffer from schizophrenia and other psychotic type illnesses, where they may be suffering from paranoia, delusions and hallucinations. And if that happens, usually they are not completely aware of their surroundings, and may require hospitalization for treatment. So those individuals, from the hadith that mentions that the pen is lifted from three individuals. One is that who has no capacity, majnoon, he's lost sense of reality. So patients with severe mental illness like schizophrenia, psychosis, even bipolar disorder where they have psychotic symptoms, all the patients with dementia, because they don't know where they are, they've lost sense of reality, their brain's kind of disconnected, then they are exempt, as far as my understanding goes and my discussions with mashayikh. So the other thing is also often what happens, people neglect their medication, and they can have a relapse of their mental illness. So it's really important for patients to continue taking their medication. Obviously, if you're fasting, you need to take it either during sahur time or at iftar. But commonly people get into trouble because they become less regimented or less compliant with their medication, and they will frequently have a mental illness relapse, and that's very dangerous. Medications such as injections, so people who are on injectable antipsychotics, what we call depot medications, they can have those during even when they're fasting. That doesn't break their fast. So inshallah that was beneficial. I pray that all of you, as I mentioned, have a successful Ramadan. Remember me in your du'as, and until next time, this is your brother Dr. Abu Isa. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.